Okay. This background image, um, this is a photo of my father in his casket. And, well, I'm making this content. Hold on one second. I gotta go. Allergies. Yes, so I'm making this content because of the ongoing historical abuse from the police to black and brown communities, unaliving us, getting away with it, covering it up like they've done forever and ever. And I start with that because we are experiencing in current day society, as far as the constant getting over and them grabbing them, meaning the government, and all this BS that was presented prior to this individual getting reelected, it's all one of the same, do you understand? But on a different capacity. But it's all abuse. It's it's carnage for other people. It's a total poop show. And for myself, my family, I'm not unique. I'm not alone. Do you know how many people in that 1 year alone, the year that my father was unalive, how many people were also in New York alone? The stats are very high. Do you understand? The stats are very high of police brutality where black and brown men were unalived by the police, and they covered it up, and they falsified documents, death certificates. But you see, the medical examiner who was on duty at the office of the chief medical examiner on December 1st, 1965, when his body was brought in for the autopsy, the officers involved in the unaliving of my father, Mahone, this dude named Mahone, and this other one, Montalvan, they tried to put my father's cause of death, listen to this, they tried to put his cause of death as natural causes. Natural causes, because anyone can unalive themselves. Tell your mother to cry for you and get the F off my page, okay? Because anyone can unalive themselves by poo-pooing themselves in the back with 16 rounds, right? Anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. So, this is part of a big, big thing that's way bigger than me. And what's going to happen for any family who has lost a loved one due to police poo-pooing, all right? Families are going to be compensated. And it's going to happen across the board. Because this POS that we have in the White House, he's not going to be in the White House forever. He's not going to be breathing too much longer, as we can all see. Yeah, because his health has deteriorated so rapidly. And because of all the sins he's committed and all the damage he has done across the globe, what happens to people like the Donald, when you commit all these acts against others, what happens is every time you breathe, every time you're breathing, you're taking in more poison. You're taking in more poison. Because the higher power is only going to give you so much, and then your time is going to come. And then for the people that you've destroyed, which is millions of people, people will celebrate. Because we all know when this man goes, it's going to be an international celebration. That's the truth. The same thing with Netanyahu and all those other POSs. National celebrations for these garbage POSs. So yeah, the reason why I've been talking about this because like I said, this is way bigger than anything I could have even thought of. Because I'm not unique in my situation. So many people, so many families have had loved ones poo-pooed and they covered it up. They have covered it up. Tell your mother to start singing, okay? Tell your mother to start singing. Yep. So many people, so many families. And then now we see what's going on now since this POS came into office with all of his nonsense by abducting migrants and unaliving them. Well, each and every one of these people in this cabinet, each and every one of you in this cabinet, you wait and see what the higher power has in store for you and your generations. You wait and see. And for that woman, that lady, Leah Saxton, from the Manhattan District Attorney Sex Crimes Unit, you were pregnant when you interviewed me? I hope you had a daughter. I hope you had a daughter, and I hope what happened to me happens to your daughter. Okay? That's right. Yep. So, the NYPD is notorious, like all these other police agencies, for covering shit up. And it's what they're about. It's what they're about. And the thing is, for them, meaning the neoclass, the fascist neoclass, they want to keep everyone below them, okay? They, like these people up here in this little town here, they want to tag people with fines and penalties, and they, Dutchess County, Wappinger Falls, you're going to be getting a nice class action lawsuit for all of the people that you have harassed here in Dutchess County. Yeah. The amount of fees that these people have taken, and Tom DiNapoli, you are a sack of poo who needs to go to the farm and retire, because you have been dozing for dollars, getting paid while all this corruption goes on. Okay? Yep. All of these people. It's a shakedown for a breakdown. Here you go. You get a shakedown. Give you a breakdown, tune you up again, fix your engine, go come up with another scam. Here we go. Oh, let's do this. Let's add fees. Let's keep adding fees because we gotta keep the lights on. We gotta keep the lights on, right? Now, I am an agent of God, and this is why the experiences that I have had in my life have been building blocks for me to help people get the message out there, because I've already started a movement. I've started a movement, Corruption correspondent, I didn't ask for this. This is how my life unfolded. The amount of fees that are charged, get back to that, the amount of fees that are charged throughout these different municipalities for these humps to make money, okay? For these humps to make money, This is all over. This is not just New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. This is Florida. Florida is a rip-off scam central state. If you want to commit high crime and robbery and and then do a scam, then go move to Florida. You could hang out in the Everglades. Nobody will ever find you. You know. That's why most thieves and criminals move to Florida. Nothing against thieves and criminals. You know. The thieves and criminals are the government. The thieves and criminal are the government. And like I said in other videos, you see, like on the paper, in the news, you'll see articles of, oh, a woman arrested in whatever, Buffalo, New York, she committed welfare fraud, or a man committed welfare fraud, he got food stamps while working a part-time job. What about all these crock knockers in the Orthodox community, like I said, and I'll keep repeating, that get free housing, that have numerous large families, okay? But they don't get locked up for fraud? They don't get locked up for fraud, right? But then you want to cop and you want to go grab people if somebody worked and they had whatever they whatever like $10,000 or $5,000. That's for you sacks of shit to cover your asses. That's what it is. Because you know the corruption, you know the money that's going out. So in order to try to recoup and make some balance, you go ahead and you take somebody who has struggled and maybe worked a job and didn't report it. Yeah. For all these people that have been arrested for this, they're all going to be coming for this state and to be getting recouped. Because if you give preferential treatment to the Orthodox community only, where you know they're committing frickin' fraud, Chuck Schumer, how you doing, Chuck Schumer? Right? Right. Reading these messages. Yeah, so this is our government, and current status quo with this individual that's been in office and everything he's done. The entire country is revolting against this shit. The entire country. People that voted for this clown can't stand him and hate the fact that they wasted their vote. Right? We have a government that's so gosh darn corrupt, where the only way this government functions is by robbing people. The only way this government functions is by robbing people. You have these congressional hearings for this, that, and the other, right? And it's all waste. It comes out, well, except for the important stuff, but it's waste, it's waste, it's waste. Like I said, each and every one of you in this cabinet, boy, you don't know what's coming down the pipe for you as far on a spiritual level. Each and every one of you are going to be suffering like you've never seen before. You're going to have so much trauma in your life coming, and that's going to come from the spirit. That's going to come from the higher power for everything you've all done. Yep, that's right. That's right. So for people who have had their loved ones poo-pooed, unalived, by any law enforcement agency, there's going to be compensation given to surviving family members. Because the Democratic Governors Association, all the Democratic governors, you all better pull your heads together and start coming up with a plan. Because you all know how far corruption has gone. Yep. Crazy world. Crazy freaking world we live in. Hantavirus is here. Stock up on your whatever you need, people, because we're in a situation. This is a repeat of COVID that's on its way. This is a repeat of COVID that's on its way. And you see all the cover up and BS that comes from this White House. So, you know, they're just waiting for all of us to kick the bucket. That's really what it is. Because the less of us, the more money, more billions for them. Mm, remember that. Everyone, I'll be back. Have a good night. And always report these sacks. Report these sacks. Whatever injustice that happens to you, you're dealing with a clown butt hat in a little town here that they want to come up with nonsensical fees for shit that's already been done and resolved because they're squandering money, right? Wappinger Falls Town Hall, right? Mm-mm-mm-mm. It's a pretty sad and pathetic state, but people are hip and people are aware of what's going on. So I strongly recommend for the Dutchess County Controller, um, you need to start investigating. You have to start investigating these townships on these fees that they're charging people that are all bullshit. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. 100%. Anyway, everybody have a good night. Um, I'm here to serve and do justice for the people. The government, oh, mhm. The government is a joke in every municipality. It's a way to make money. It's a way to extort money from the citizenry and to have roads that look like craters on the moon. Uh, Here where I am, we have this ongoing thing with the water because they don't have the water pipes connected correctly. Yeah. Hmm. Crazy. What happens is they hire the same contractor, they hire the same contractors, the same people get paid over and over again, just like in New York City. My husband worked at Police Plaza. He put in the heat and the AC. It was the fifth time that the heat and AC was done at one police plaza, the fifth time in a matter of 7 years. Each job, each job throughout the 5 years was like a $20 million job. 15 to $20 million job. So you tell me, people aren't making money by scamming, getting money from these contractors, getting these bids from the city? Yeah. Uh-huh. Mayor Mamdani, I will work with you to put a team together to critique every single nickel and dime that has gone out to these corrupt people. All right? Because the same corrupt contractors who get over and make money, they get in the bids through the people who approve them without knowing. No, they know, but they don't do due diligence. They don't do due diligence. Yep. I'm telling you, you can look it up. One police plaza had the heat and AC done over and over and over and over again. So it was a gravy train of contractors who came in. Here's what they do when they do these jobs, right? The same thing with the sewers, right? And the water mains. They'll have an inspector come in, they'll inspect little portions of the work, not the entire thing. They'll pass these jobs, right? And then in 3 to 5 years or 2 years, then everything comes apart because the welds weren't done correctly. Only segments of it pass the x-ray. You understand? But they know this and they keep making money. They keep making money. Yeah. Mayor Mamdani, there's a lot of corruption that you need to weed out. Okay. definitely so. Everyone, have a good night. I'll be back with more corruption stories, all true stories. Oh, anyone who's watching, if you listen to the video that I posted where I gave that was about the third time I gave the report of being essayed. Well, that woman officer, when you hear her speaking about the lowlife who essayed me, listen to her tone. This woman, I heard it again. I was like, she calls this person, the way she, yeah, I bet you that was one of his little pals because he has had a lineup of them. Guarantee. She was like, um, she was like, um, how did you meet Edward? How did you meet Edward? What a piece of shit. What a little piece of shit. Oh my God. What a freaking loser. A grapist loser who has skated his entire life. But anyway, listen, if you listen to the audio, and she sounds so emotional, and I'm like, I heard it again. I was like, this poor woman. This poor woman. Maybe that's one of his girlfriends, one of his and his pals, because she was like the way she said it, and I was like, wow. You can tell a lot from a voice inflection. Things you can never hide. You can never hide your voice inflection, okay? And you can never hide the truth. So, you know, anyway, everybody have a good night. Remember, speak up against bullshit. Always, always. Clown hat government that we have. Oh my God. Well, I got a lot more material for the KarenChronicles.com. Oh, hell yeah. Especially with other stuff that goes on. People share their stories. We'll have a convention. The Karen Chronicles stories. And people can record this stuff, put it on. Yeah. How to not be a Karen. Anyway, everybody, have a good one. Bye. Thanks for listening.